Hi folks, and welcome to task 2 of the Plan and Cost Basic Menus assessment. So just a little bit of review of task 1, going through yield tests. You should have completed the task 1 highlighted section here on boning out a whole duck. So you have the weight, total weight, and the cost per kilo in there as well. So just a hint, total cost is 2.2 kilos times by $9.50. That'll give you your total cost to start with. Okay, so using your formulas that we did on the last video and in your PowerPoint and your carry out basic workplace calculations, you should be able to work that one out. So that's the task 1 completed, which is fantastic. Task 2 is going in and creating standard recipe cards, which are used on most commercial kitchens throughout the industry. The reason why we don't use little bits of paper is that they get lost. The reason why we cost out food is because food, for example, lobsters are always going up in price, so we need to make sure that we're making a profit for a business. So very important stuff. If you're not making a profit or you're just breaking even, then you might find the business that you're working with or for, or maybe it's your own, they're not making money, so you're not going to be able to keep the business running. Okay, so you do need to make a little bit of a profit there as well. Although food doesn't make a great deal of profit, it's more alcohol that makes a profit, but it's still good to make that little bit. Okay, so there are 3 dishes on menu 1 without a food cost on the menus item list. Okay, you have to go through and work out the costs on those recipe cards, which are there as well. All right, pay attention to how much you need to multiply each recipe to achieve a recipe costing sheet for 10 portions. So if we base everything in this assessment on 10 portions, it's a really nice round number to go and multiply. You might need to divide into a single portion, although that's very rare. More often than not, you'll be multiplying 10 to make by 10 to make 100. So if this recipe makes 10 chocolate puddings and you want to make 100, it's really easy just to multiply that by 10. Okay, there is software applications to do food costing and standard recipe cards, so a lot of digital based stuff now, which is really handy. There's apps for iPad, so rather than having loose bits of paper that get food on them, the kitchen might have an iPad in the corner where you get your recipes from, or there might be a couple, and they're all up to date costed as well, so all your food costs are in there, so you know how much to actually sell the food item on the menu to make a little bit of profit. Okay, all right, so let's move on. So let's move down to the first one. So you'll see task 2 here. This is the recipe to be costed. It makes 5 portions. So what we need to do to turn that into 10 is just times everything by 2. All right, that's an easy one, just to multiply. Twice baked goat cheese souffle, baby spinach and herb oil with chickpea, couscous and salad. So they've actually split this into the souffle component and then the other component, which is the salad and oil. Okay, because it's a 2-part. You might have enough souffles to serve 20 people, but your salad runs out because it's daily made salad, so it will wilt, so you probably need to make that daily. All right, in the perfect world. So you'll see there's the part 2 there within 5 portions. All right, and there's a picture for you as well. Pictures are really handy in a standard recipe card too. All right, so here's your blanks. All right, again I said make a copy of this assessment, so you've got your working copy and then you've got your one to refer back to on the other screen as well. So all highlighted areas must be completed. All right, so they've put the yield in there as 10. Okay, so that makes it easier for you. There's a couple of things in there. The date costed is really important, so pop that one in. 27th of the 4th today. Food cost percentage must be under 25%. All right, and we'll get to that afterwards as well. The selling price here, you need to go down to the menu 1 price range. So I'll just scroll down to that quickly. And here it is, menu 1. Okay, so that is your price range. That's your selling price range, between $15 and $20. Okay, so if you had, for example, you know, like a crab ravioli, crab is quite expensive, you would probably go towards the $20 mark there. A souffle is a little bit cheaper, so you'd probably go towards the $15, $16 mark there, just as an example. All right, so that gives you an idea. All right, scrolling back up now. So yes, complete that as much as you can, and then what we'll do, so I've done an example here, is we scroll back up, I've put the butter in. So butter, 20 grams. So I've just times that by 2 and then put 40 grams in there. So butter, do it in this decimal point, so 0.040, and when you punch it into your calculator, always punch it in as 0.040 and then times the quantity by the unit amount. So that unit amount there came from the food cost up here, so $3.10. So you refer to that. So again, having 2 screens and having it open on both screens, or having this ingredients price list actually printed, will make your life a hell of a lot easier with this assessment. All right, it's about getting it done and, you know, moving forward. Okay, so butter, put all that in. You can do it this way, you can put all of them in, put the quantity and all that sort of thing. You'll be flicking backwards and forwards, or you can go through, put all the ingredients in first, then the quantities, then your unit, you know, liters, kilograms, each bunch, etc. And then put in your unit price from this sheet here. You know, your workflow is up to you. Make sure you put the dollar symbol in when you're writing as well. To me, it just looks a little bit easier to see it on the screen. Again, with the total as well, put it in there also. I don't know about you, but when I'm looking at something like this, I might be looking at a measurement, but when I put that little dollar symbol in there, my eyes go, yep, that's a currency, no worries. All right, same with this portion cost, you know, put it in, whatever it is, like so. All right, and then your selling price, $16. Don't just go like that. Okay, put the 00 in. All right, this has got to be really, really, you know, sort of, you know, cross the T's and dot the I's in this assessment as well. All right, so that will help you get through the 3 that you have to do. So the second sheet here is for the salad. As you can see, it says the salad part. So that's just the souffle. That's the salad part. Right at the end, you'll go through and you'll total all of this up, and then you'll continue on to the next card, and you'll total all of this costing up here. That'll give you a cost. Total cost for 10, remember? So remember it's 10, so you have to double everything. Then what you're going to do is you're going to add 5% onto that total cost. Now, a consumable is cling wrap, salt and pepper, spray oils, you know, glad bake foil, whatever you're going to use for that. You know, you're cooking a souffle, so you might need to put something on top of them, although they do puff out. So, you know, there might be other things that you use as consumables there as well. So to add the consumables in, get your calculator out, your mathematical calculator, go +5 and then hit the % button, but that you have to have your total amount in the calculator. So let's say my total's, you know, $56.89, then I go +5 and then hit the % button, and you should find you'll get the total cost there. All right, so that's a good way of working that one out as well. So I'll just remove that, otherwise it'll get confusing. So now the total cost, you're going to divide the total cost by 10, because we're making 10, but we want a portion cost. So we take the total cost of making 10, divide it by 10, and then we get one portion cost out of that as well. I will show you the formulas on the next video, which actually has the PowerPoint in it as well, but that's a good example for you as well. So going back to the selling price, essentially you need to work out what you're going to sell that food item on the menu for. Things you would base, if you're a restaurant owner, the things you would base it on is demographics. What are restaurants around me selling food for? Am I in a pub in an industrial area? You know, it's going to be a little bit cheaper. Pokies also help make profit, so you might make your food a little bit cheaper if you've got pokies. If you're a cafe or a restaurant, you might need to make that a little bit more pricier. If you're, you know, waterfront sort of dining and that sort of stuff, it would obviously be a little bit higher. Okay, so I hope that will make sense to you. So please start chipping away at the standard recipe cards. Once you've completed your recipe cards, please at least send me one for some feedback, just to make sure you're on the right track. Before you go and do them all, and they're all, you know, a couple of errors here and there, it's nice to just send that in. So if you want to send me one of them, you can just drag to highlight it and then just copy it into an email or copy it into a new document, new Word document, and then I'll give you some constructive feedback on that as well. Okay, so the next video is going to be on the PowerPoint that accompanies the standard recipe, just to help you guys out. All right, thanks for listening. I'll see you in the next video.